All right. We are now live everywhere.
Are we? We're live?
We are.
Welcome to the studio, to our incredible new setup. At least for today, this is where we are. We're going to be painting vertical. And I'm David Austin with davidaustingallery.com. And that is my beautiful tech guru, amazing production assistant, director, and all-around tech person. That's Kristen.
Good morning.
So we have, I think we're up to, 30 platforms we're broadcasting on right now?
Feels like it.
All right. That one's not going there? The little Zoom?
No, it's just the place to hold it so I don't drop it.
I don't even know where to look anymore.
Well, this way.
So today we're going to paint on this pretty large piece. And I'm just trying to put up a little barrier here because I'm painting vertical and I'm going to be painting wet into wet, which can get really messy, particularly when you're working in a vertical format. And if you follow us, then you know I usually work flat on a table somewhere. And we're going to be painting with Amsterdam acrylics today. So I have a bunch of these little ones from their expert and their student series, or I guess they call it the standard series. These are really great. Either one of them is just a lot of fun to use. And we're going to paint over this existing piece that I have. It's a little bit glossy, so that's a problem. It's a little bit glossy. Probably I should have scruffed it with some sandpaper, but I didn't. So this will be an experience to see what happens today. And I did a little bit of chalk work down here. I was just trying to lay in some, like the images of buildings here. And some of this is definitely going to get covered up by the paint as it's coming down. And we're going to be scraping and adding and subtracting material today. So it should be fun. And I think we might try and use some of this tissue in it as well. It's going to be fun. We never know what we're going to do here. And it always seems to change every time we do a show. So I'm happy to see everybody here today. I'm hoping that you'll stick around and grab a cup of coffee or a drink, depending on what part of the time zone you are and what in the world. And we'll have some fun today. So that concludes. I did this a little before we started because I wanted to get that done. I've got also some black gesso and some paint sticks. And these are just tempera paint sticks. You can buy a variety of different brands. They're all very similar. And then I have some white paint, flat white paint down here because I'm out of my gesso. So I'm going to get a little bit of white, although there's already white on there. And I do realize that. I'm just going to kind of very gestural, expressionist kind of approach today without hopefully getting paint on my sculpture. I just noticed I got to be careful of that. That would be bad, huh? Although I guess I could just burn it back off.
That's true enough. A lot of burning yesterday.
Yeah.
With these sculpture pieces.
The new sculpture's been so much fun. I'm going to go ahead and splatter some of this pink pigment on there already, right into the paint. And I'm just going to smear it around a little bit. Just to get something fun going straight off. Probably should wear a mask with that. So you have a lot of stuff here, Kristen.
Me?
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff.
New lights, new camera.
New lights, new camera, some new microphones.
So let us know if the sound is good, since everything's brand new.
Yeah, and I'm using all my devices, so I can't even check.
You can't even go in to check?
No.
So we're going to use some of this different green from Amsterdam in various places.
Good morning, everybody.
So exciting to paint like this. It's different. I don't normally paint vertical, but because it's a whole host of challenges, particularly the way that I paint. So for me, this is a little bit unusual. But I think we're going to have some fun. And what I did is I kind of put a barrier up here to sort of catch some of the paint as it's coming down. I do want to preserve some of this kind of a Aztec-y, Roman, Greece-looking type of architecture down here. I'd like to keep that kind of intact. So I'm going to put that, depend on that dam down here of this paint to kind of catch it. You can see it caught some of that really beautiful, bright pink pigment, the raw pigment. I kind of had an idea about some kind of plant life, really. This morning, Kristen, when I got up, it was after the rain we had last night. It was so vibrant in the garden. It was just beautiful. So I thought I would try to maybe kind of recreate a little bit of that feel. It's about a feel when you're painting like this. So you can see that white paint is mixing with the color. It's almost like I'm building some happy little trees. You know I can't do this without at least one reference. Just picking up the paint right off of and you can see the texture coming through from the previous painting, which was mostly a white painting. I do quite a few of these white paintings because I think it's like a palette cleanser for me. And I'm just using my flat palette knife, working it around.
Aw. Guess we all did love Bob Ross.
Stay tuned, by the way, everybody, because is it next week? No, next week is Jeff Olson? Is that next week?
Yes, Jeff Olson is next
Jeff
week.
Olson
From
next
Royal
week.
Talents.
Pretty excited. He's the education director at Royal Talents. And they sent some Cobra water mixable oil paints to me, and I started to play with them, and we did a little recording, although we haven't uploaded it yet, of playing with that material, and it was just so fun. So he's going to join us and tell me everything that I did wrong. It should be a lot of fun, because the fact of the matter is I haven't worked in oils really since college.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And so for me, it was really fun to come back to it, but also challenging. But I found already, Kristen, it affected my painting already.
Already?
Yeah, it's really weird. So I'm looking forward to kind of exploring it with his tutelage. He's been super busy. Lots of education things going on by Royal Talents. And they have, those ambassadors that they have.
Oh, yeah.
That go around and do things. Very, very smart people. Very, very talented people, too. I'm not an ambassador. I just like their product. They've been very kind, though. They've given us a lot of options to play with things, and we appreciate that so much. Maybe I shouldn't have put that sculpture so close, huh?
Just don't get any paint on it. That's the trick, right?
Yeah, it's gonna cramp my style, man. Get some paint stick. Let's work a little bit of paint stick in here. Just rub that right on there. Get that paint stick in here. Let's just kind of do some more marks up here with it. It's kind of cool because the paint sticks can act as a blender too. It's not sacrosanct, you don't worry about getting these things dirty. Keep them all pure. You can wipe that off if you want. You can leave it on for later. It should be fun. And a little more pink because we have those brilliant pink, very fragrant bushes out there.
Yeah, we do.
In the garden. It's just so delicious smelling. So that was one of the other influences for me. And I've got some what's called reflex colors from Royal Talents. I got the orange and I got the pink. Look at that. Woo. if you've just joined us for the first time, I'm a little bit silly, and I'm an abstract painter. You can check out the work at davidaustingallery.com. And a lot of times I do political type work, political art. So I don't do as much of this sort of garden type stuff lately, but I still kind of added in a statement because of these architectural elements down here. I kind of want to, do you have can you grab the Degas over there? No, I have it right here. Never mind. So this is the Degas fixative. Since there's this powder here and then all of this charcoal work that I did, and the charcoal with a K.
Just to be weird.
I'm just going to go ahead and throw some of this on here again, and this will help stabilize that. This is the Degas fixative. I use this between layers. Use it sparingly. Spring for the more expensive spray bottle. You'll thank me later for that. Thank you, Degas fixative. That is from Spectra Fix. If you want to find them online, Spectra Fix. They're just really a lot of fun. But we're going to be adding this at some point to highlight. It's so exciting. Then we can always work in this little black stick again. Get some darker tones, some contrast mixed into it. And that texture is just pulling the paint right off of this. Just highlighting some really neat stuff. The easel's making a lot of racket. I don't even know why it's making so much racket. There's so much white gesso up here that it's hard to get that to come through. You know, it's good and wet. All right, let's get a little bit of black mixed in.
Wow, and a change of pace. The Instagram people are just not very friendly today, but the TikTok crew is.
Oh, people are not friendly on.
Having a rough day over there.
No.
Hey guys, I want to remind everybody that this is a family-friendly channel. Please keep your language appropriate.
Yeah, thank you.
you.
We are family friendly. We have a lot of young people that watch this, families that join us, because we do think that art should start very young, creativity. And we have a hashtag that we use. It's called Create Without Fear. And I want everybody to feel like they can create without fear, without any repercussions. You know, I mean, we don't criticize
this is a
other people's
judgment-free
art.
zone, guys.
That's right. This is the beginning stages of a painting on top of that, so you can't always tell where it's going. Check out my other work if you want on the platforms, and also at davidaustingallery.com. If you want to see some clothing that we do, it's at muddypaw.net. Muddypaw.net. I have a sip of coffee. So it was a super busy week, wasn't it, Kristen?
Yeah.
Again, always.
It's always art shark.
Yeah, art shark. Always moving. Always moving. This will be a little bit longer piece to do than usual, I think.
Oh, thank you for reporting them. I blocked them, but thank you. Oh, hi, Maggie. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. We're going to be at her studio October 1st, guys. That'll be the first time we've done the show, like, at somebody else's studio. It's going to be exciting. And if you're in Duluth, this Wednesday at 10 a.m., we're going to be at Lake Superior Plaza for a plein air activity. Come join us.
Come paint.
Come paint with us. Lake Superior Plaza, 10 a.m. every Wednesday all August.
Nicely done. Nicely done, Kristen.
Thank you.
Everybody's like, wait, where's the voice coming from?
Just call me Wilson.
You know, and if the painting doesn't work, you can always paint over it like I just did. And then you can scrape it. I wouldn't necessarily recommend sanding down acrylic because of all the plastics in it. But you certainly can come back in and you can scrape it
Oh, a lot of new people today. Welcome. It's great to have you here with us.
Oh, there it is.
So this is a reflex color from Amsterdam Acrylics. They're really fun, bright neons. We are in Duluth, Minnesota.
Look at that.
Don't you know? Bring a hot dish.
Bring a hot dish. That is some bright and happy color right there. That's some bright and happy. Love it. That's just beautiful colors. I really like those colors. As I build up more and more layers, it's going to want to kind of sag down. You can see the black is kind of coming down, but I can use those as guidelines and paint within that. And as I finish the painting, so after this dries, I'll come back in with acrylic markers, maybe some more paint. I'll do some stuff with crayons and charcoal and all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of things to play with. I don't think any time in history has there been so many toys for artists to play with. It's just so fun.
Yeah, colors and tools, emulsifiers.
Just the raw pigments and even some of that is really astonishing. The quality of the stuff available to anybody nowadays. It's just really nice.
Who is painting this morning? I know somebody has to be painting this morning. Evening, afternoon, middle of the night.
Yeah, depending on where we are, right? I don't usually paint off of like a palette, so this is like a plastic lids from some cheese.
Cheese. We are next to Wisconsin.
I always keep a couple of canvases around, almost like to clean up the brushes, because I don't like to waste paint.
You were painting till 2. Why are you still awake?
Yeah. Wow.
You have a casting call today? Audition? Oh, that's drippy.
That's a drippy one. Yeah, I knew it would be.
I'm going to zoom in with this camera over here. Good idea of what's going on.
I'm trying to leave the middle kind of open a little bit. Working with, I'm going to put that down here. I'm worried that's going to collapse on me. Get some white.
Still learning this tripod, so please be patient with me, everybody.
New toys.
Starting to understand the difference between a $30 tripod and a $230 tripod.
Yeah, for sure.
And regretting my $30 purchase.
Clean that off. I don't want to contaminate my bucket of white that much. Usually when it gets down pretty low, that's when I start just dumping the brush in. Yeah, so started sculpting again.
Yeah, that was a busy week with the sculpting. There's a finished piece right there.
I have 3 of them in here right now. There, and there. Pretty exciting, really, to get back to the paint, to the sculpting. Has been a lot of fun. That's really where my training was, right?
Yeah.
Was in sculpting. And I've always really enjoyed it a lot, but I haven't been able to do it due to space and time and everything like that. So our move here back in December when we moved here was to help facilitate, to get away from the old business, which really took over our lives, basically.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to work as much as I want. I mean, I was getting up early morning before the crew came in, before my guys came in. And I would paint for an hour or 2, and then we would go and do the work, the field work, and that was okay for a while. But I wasn't able to really play as much as I wanted to in my painting or my sculpting. So that's why we moved. Duluth is amazing. I mean, it's just incredible, isn't it, Kristen? It's amazing.
It's gorgeous here.
Amazing. place.
Oh, hi, Color Bright Art House. Good to see you this morning, too.
So we're on, those of you that hadn't figured it out, TikTok today, YouTube, Facebook.
Yep. Instagram and Twitch. Oh, and Twitter. Have to have a wider and wider net as the rules keep changing.
They do, yeah. A lot of our friends on Instagram were lamenting this recently, right?
Yes. So how many? Let's see. That's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. 6. We're on 6 platforms today.
So to me, it's almost like it's just crazy. By the way.
Well, what I find fascinating as the back end person is that the vertical experience on Instagram and TikTok versus the landscape experience on the other platforms.
Yeah.
It's a very different feeling. I'm kind of digging it. Everybody enjoying our new lights? Look how
this is
colorful everything is with all the lights.
Okay, well, that's done. That was a good one.
Where's the rest of your question?
Whoa! Right into the paint bucket. Maybe I can use that.
Good question for you. Good luck with this. You ready?
Okay.
Sure. When you were starting out as an artist, how did you navigate getting to the point that your art could provide for your livelihood?
Well, we're still struggling with the livelihood part.
Yeah. I mean, I work other jobs, and David does the occasional, hand-built jobs.
Yeah. It's a lot of it is just working, consistent working. As Kristen often says, butt and seat.
Yeah.
And that to me is the main thing. And by the way, I dropped this into the paint over there, and I thought, well, I'll just use it in a different way. There's no paint, it's empty.
I mean, we're very, very close to being able to just rely on this alone.
Yeah, we're close.
But it's been 2.5 years of consistent day-to-day, sometimes 60, 70-hour weeks from the two of us to get to this point. So persistence, I think, is one of the things that divides those who succeed and those who do not. Oh, good luck. I had my real estate license, too. Yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
You say goodbye to all your weekends, holidays. Yeah, I couldn't be away from my family that long.
I think that it's important to know why you're doing the art. Very few of us will actually make a really good living off of doing the art. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but why are you really making the art is the question. For me, I have to. I'm compelled. So even if I had a regular job, I'd be on my spare time. I'd still be painting and sculpting and doing stuff. The truth of the matter is, we have several thousand pieces of artwork at various stages in this building alone. It's a 1,000 square foot building now, which is so much larger than the one back in Michigan. I still don't even know how we managed to get this place, but anyway.
I'm going to say, and it's hard for a lot of artists because you tend to be pretty introverted. You need to network every day. You need to figure out a way to network somewhere, somehow.
That is a big thing, whether it's online or whether it's in person. Getting galleries is always a challenge. I know everybody always asks how you do it. And especially in this day and age, it's particularly difficult. So many of them don't want you to approach them directly. So they want you to they want to find you. So they're going to discover you, right? Well, the only way to do that, as Kristen said, is networking. You've got to network with people.
Yes.
And so you got to pull. What am I? I'm an introvert, extrovert. It's like a small percentage.
You have the ability to be an extrovert, but you're.
Oh, it wears me out. After this show, I'll probably collapse for about an
hour. Pretty much does. I, however, am an extrovert.
She is.
So I'll just keep going all day.
She goes and visits people and talks to people. And we're very fortunate. We're a team. Kristen and I are a team, and so we're very lucky from that standpoint compared to a lot of people. Join a co-op. That's a great way to get started. It's a great way to make connections, establish contacts with people, and so forth. That to me is one of the biggest things that helped me in the beginning of my career. So I highly recommend getting to a co-op. Plus, a lot of the bigger galleries, they visit the co-op.
They will drop into
stealthily. Art shows are a pain, but a lot of people do them still.
Well, we're doing a couple.
It's always a risk. This is a new area for us in Duluth, so we've done a few. We haven't done any in years. So far, it's been okay. I got to stand back for a minute because it's a little bit different than I was. It's just sort of what the painting in our dining room that we still have with the neon that I did.
Oh yeah.
The plein air one. You get many with the neon and the
I
sprays.
think it's called Trees for the Forest or something.
Something like that, yeah. I liked that piece so much, and that was kind of the inspiration piece today for this one, because I wanted to kind of create a similar feeling to that.
Hey guys, now that we've got a bunch of artists here today, I want you to go through, if you have time, and about networking. Go visit each other's pages.
Yes,
Go
please.
start visiting each other. Because sometimes somebody will get at a gallery, and that gallery will say, do you know anybody that would fit? And they'll know you. Okay?
Yep,
And,
I completely agree with her.
And some of their products are cool. I've got a swimsuit from Atanasio Young Co. A couple weeks ago. She's on here today. Love it.
Oh, hi. Kristen really likes that suit a lot.
Yeah. Just go support each other, you know? If you're uncomfortable networking with non-artists, start with artists.
Every third Saturday of the month, we hold what we call an artist ecosystem at our studio here in Duluth. And if you're curious, message us. By the way, if anybody wants to be on the email list, please, where can they go to get on the email list?
I just go to our homepage and just sign up for the email, and then you can get updates as to our events, where we're going to be.
This is really key. This is an area that we've fallen down on. We're talking art business. I didn't mean to go there, but somebody asked. Where we fell down big time is from the beginning, not getting email lists, not encouraging it. We have a very small email list. The thing is, for example, when somebody, God forbid, loses your, say, Instagram account, those are we have 20,000, almost 20.
If you're hacked and you lose your account,
you're done business-wise.
Your followers can't find you.
The only way you're going to be able to do it is if you have that email list. So collect that aggressively, but not too aggressive. I mean, don't approach people on the street and rough them up for their email list. That's not right.
But make sure it's a cornerstone of your business, because again, and I said this before, you don't own your social media profiles. So for any reason, you just poof.
It can be gone.
Yep. That's why we're on 6 platforms today. Because I never know.
Yeah, it's important to diversify. People talk about this in business, and I think it applies absolutely into the art too. Diversify your business as far as your contacts go. So that's that. I think that I don't know who asked the question on it, but somebody asked it.
Yeah, because that's an Asia.
Oh, okay. Hi. It's important to the.
By the way, all of that also fits for real estate agents. So, but
honestly,
translate it all over to that.
So I've got a pencil here. I can do some mark making right into the wet clay. And the little details that you do, the Aquascape Incorporated is who our wholesaler is for our pond business, which is we're not real active in that anymore, but we're still there. I mean, you can go to waterpaw.net, waterpaw.net. And we're taking jobs like sculptural ponds and fountains, kind of where I started originally. And we just finished some really nice ones recently.
Nice
sculpted boulders.
We did, yeah.
And so, where was I going with that?
I don't know.
Oh, I know what it was. So I'm adding these little details into this, and what really makes like a water feature, landscape, or a piece of artwork is the details. And they have a term for it. They call it the last 10%. Right?
Yep.
So things like how you sign your piece, how you display the piece, framing, those kinds of things. And then even like what I'm doing right now, just adding these little details, that adds that depth to the piece. We're adding more age, more of a validity to the piece by giving it that experience. The experience level is bigger. And so people will sense that. And I think that's really important to do. And if you go into some of my pieces really close up, you'll see incredible detail. Little cities, little tiny cities, little words are in there. The street art thing. and even what's it called?
Graffiti?
Graffiti. Yes, that's even the graffiti has influenced my work quite a bit as far as putting language into the pieces. So you'll find that in several of my pieces as well. I haven't done that in this. I might add something later as I go. It's really hard drawing on this, Kristen, with the glossy surface underneath. It's not easy.
Does anybody else have any questions? I'd love to answer them.
Yeah, I'm a captive audience right now. So is Kristen.
I have all of these tripods. There's no way he's getting out of here.
I can't. I'm trapped.
I literally have caged him.
I have a little bit of a claustrophobia thing going on here.
I painted him into a corner.
She blinded me with science.
Oh, so bad.
That one's good. It's not complete around here without at least a few of the 90s references, right?
Isn't that 80s?
Fine.
Blinded me with
well,
science.
fine. Just date me a little. I've been an artist all my life, really, but professional. I think I had my first paint gig when I was, I want to say 15. I was playing with airbrushing a lot back then for commercial art. Maybe it was 16, something like that. And I did these airbrush signs for some place in Battle Creek, Michigan, downtown. It was hilarious. So occasionally, take a step back, see where you are, and then you can go back in and start to add things. And if you don't know what to add, just start doing this. I'm not looking, randomly adding things. Look, I'm not even looking. Oh, I peeked. I shouldn't have peeked. And seriously, that is a way to do it. Like, if you're having trouble starting a painting, then just go to the painting and do this with some charcoal or some paint sticks or even a brush. And then when you're done, oh, look at that. And you've discovered something, and you can build off of that. It's a really easy way to start as an abstract painter. People often say, how do you get started? Well, that's how I start so many things, so much other pieces. Let's see. I wasn't going to do any blue, but I kind of want to do some blue down here. Even though the sky is, not real blue, but it's blue, but it's shaped. Anyway, the big stick. Can you grab the big stick back there, blue? It's in the top middle drawer of my wife. I got to send her back there. So don't ask any questions while she's over there. No, upper drawer, middle, right there, right hand. Open that blue. There you go. She's got it. By Joe, I think she's got it. Thank you, love.
Yeah.
Hand delivery. I would call that a very special delivery. Oh yeah, this is what I needed. So the texture is making for some very interesting blue markings here. So I'm just going to go ahead and block this section in with the blue stick. And by the way, did I tell you, Kristen, that Brunzel now is carrying paint sticks?
No, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
At Royal Talons Brunzel, which I love their pencils. I use them all the time for my detail work. They have various hardnesses and such. But they have these paint sticks now. So that's pretty exciting. I haven't received any yet. Hint, hint. But my guess is that they're going to be similar to some of the other tempera paint sticks that we've used. And I just think they're fantastic to do what I'm doing right here. I could almost paint entire paintings using this, to be honest. I haven't yet, because I always get distracted. Ooh, look at that pretty material. That media.
Our employees used to corner me after about 2 weeks of working with us. And they'd be like, does he always talk like that? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, I don't know. I think that I go in one place and the next thing I know he's on another topic and I'm totally lost. I'm like, yeah. So I became David's translator for a while. Kind of like Key and Peele, but do the Obama anger translator. They come up to me and they'd be like, can you explain what just happened?
That was a funny skit. Look that one up on YouTube if you want. That's a really funny one. Yeah, it needed that, didn't it?
Yeah.
Down there.
So.
Let's go down here. We're going to take this block here, fill it in. Now remember, this charcoal, I did 2 thin layers of the Degas fixative down here to kind of give it some stability, because I wanted to be able to work over it and to not have it completely disappear. I wanted this kind of this imagery of this old architectural element with the arches in there, just kind of in the background, fading in. There's always that element with my work where there's a previous society, previous culture that's there, kind of buried. And almost every new painting right now that I have has that in it, hidden somewhere, or very, very blatantly displayed in some cases. So anybody have some art shows right now? Speak up. I'd love to hear if you're doing any art shows.
Yeah.
Where those are.
Plug yourselves. Come on.
This is a good chance to do that. That's why we do this, so everybody can kind of talk to each other. Remember, artist ecosystem. What's the saying I like to say? Actually, Greg Woodstock, the pond guy, says all the time. Rising tide lifts all ships.
Oh, that's true.
Thank you, Greg, for that, by the way. I doubt he's watching, but you never know. He's got his own thing going. That's fun. I think these sticks are just fun. Now they have a little, I don't know what's in them, but the surface becomes a little difficult to draw over. It's like maybe a gum arabic or a waxy type substance or something in it. So what I do with this, I will spray this down with the Degas fixative again, and that way I can actually draw on it. It'll create a tooth. It'll seal that up enough that I can actually then put some paint or other kinds of marks over the top of it. That's got to be filled in. I don't like that shape. I didn't like that. Oh, now that SNL skit's in my head. I like that. That really needed that, didn't it? All right, what else are we going to do here? Let's add a little more orange, maybe. I feel like we need a little more somewhere. Just right in here. And as the piece dries, we can add more and more layers. It's time to rock out. It's a funny music. You must be writing back there.
No, just welcoming new viewers and
clean this off on this one.
I don't know. I just put the trending epidemic sound playlist on, so it's probably gonna be all over the place.
Sometimes painting just kind of starts like this. And there we have a good start, just using the leftover paints that I have. I don't like to waste paint, so this is what happens. And you notice I'm wearing gloves. I strongly recommend this to all artists. Wear your gloves. If you're using sprays, wear your masks. We care about you. We want you to be safe. To get back to that one later.
It's amazing the number of like vegan painters I'll meet who paint barehanded, and I'm like, yeah.
Why do you do that? All right, I feel like there's not enough contrast still, so I'm going to go ahead and be very dramatic right now. Oh yeah, good and drippy. Drip paintings. I'm going to do another layer up here because it's not coming down enough. There we go. Encourage a little bit. So tree branch, I'm like imagining trees and tree branches and the shadows they go, kind of creating that. You ever look up the canopy of, that's a whole other story. We'll have to do one, maybe a little spin art thing with the, so when you're looking up through a canopy and all the branches are spread out. This is more looking into the forest, and you've got a clearing in the background. We're gonna get a little more white. No, we've got enough white. What am I gonna put in? I'm gonna do something, and I don't know what it is. Just take this right here. And like that brown that was weirdly in there. Now I think I'm going to go in and I'm going to, this could be a mess, I'm going to try it anyway. Remember this brown, Van Dyke brown that I put in? I think it was Van Dyke brown from Amsterdam. I'm going to come in and I'm going to do a little bit of palette working with that. Don't be afraid of the drips.
Well, that's why we're doing vertical today, isn't it? Just to see how things
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
let go a little bit of control and then learn how to control it as well.
You know, working with the lack of control and see what happens to it. I think it's important to play. It's important to play. That's why we always encourage our kid and any other kid that shows up to our house to paint, to get crazy with the paint. Let's see if I can get that back on there a little bit more. So this is ending up to be a little bit impasto. Cool. Excellent. That's my little one down here. Just adding to. Now, if we wanted to encourage some of this stuff to slough a little more, to come down, I can always use this paint sprayer here. I'm going to kind of encourage a few things to happen to give it even a little bit more of a softness, but also creating more lines. I remember at one point you told me how much you hated the lines.
Oh, impasto, not pasta.
Impasto.
Oh, you're just kidding. Okay, sorry. I don't do jokes.
She doesn't handle.
I'm very literal.
She's very literal. Yeah, it's a very interesting thing about her because I'm very sarcastic. It is one of the things I had to change a little bit with my speaking with my wife because I tend to be very. Sarcasm is my friend.
Yeah, I'm okay with it when it's written down, but I struggle with it when I in a conversation.
This has gone some very interesting places. Oh, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing. But that's what it is. It's play. You know, you're working. You're trying new things. I can't stress that enough. It's very easy. So if you get into a regular, like if you look, the bulk of my work has consistency in the style, right?
Yeah.
So you will develop a style, and it'll be very consistent. And this is a little off book for me, for sure. I mean, from what, don't you think?
Yeah, but usually the ones you do on the lives are really just demonstration pieces. Versus when I see you come in the studio with a clear idea of what you're going to do.
Yeah.
It's a very different work approach, actually. We've tried to film those, but nobody seems to watch them.
It's very methodical. Well, the initial painting is very fast improvisation, right?
Did we have a funny video moment yet today? Or a funny movie reference? I don't remember.
I've had several.
Yeah, you're.
No, I don't know if we've had several actually. But I feel like we've had several. Like I can see now, some of the things I will do later is highlight some of these areas either with some white chalk or black chalk, some acrylic pens. And this is interesting. See the way that when I sprayed that, how it went laterally across and spread the color laterally? I wasn't really expecting that, but now I could see why, because as I was pulling the paint down, the initial layer, the orange, it created, because of the texture underneath, it created little ridges. And so as this paint's coming down, it was filling it and going straight down, but then when I sprayed it, it spread that into the lateral lines there, which is, I think, actually quite fascinating looking at it. Now I'm just kind of playing with where the next layers might be, what I need to do. I like this weird contrast place up here. I'm not sure I would do too much more there. I might add a little bit. Right there, maybe a little right there. Oh, it's drippy.
Was David using water mixture to create drips or using thinner paint medium?
Water. Yeah. Good question. It was a water-based. Just water sprayer. Right now I'm just kind of looking at everything, trying to decide where I need to add little details that I can at this stage, because really you get to the end point, which is where I'm coming right now to the end of this.
Stage one anyway.
Stage one. I have to kind of start to define things a little bit more and decide some detail work. It's still a little messy, but I really kind of like the messy. It reminds me of the rain through all the vegetation.
Well, nature's messy.
Nature is very messy.
Can you make this as an NFT? I'm working on learning how to do that. But yeah.
In theory,
I
would think that would be the case.
And actually, I've been convinced it's a good way for artists to make some passive income as their art changes hands. But how do you force them to transfer the NFT at the same time as the physical object is where I keep getting mentally blocked.
Yeah, it's tough. We've had some people approach us about it. I don't know how legit it was. We didn't really pursue it because we just aren't really ready right now.
You know, do I have to animate it? Do I not? You know, if I have to animate it now, I've got to learn how to, mask layers and.
Well, there's a learning curve, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just when have I had time? But it is a good idea. And then, as a broke artist, when do I ever have the gas fees? Like, I've gotten far enough into it to realize it's going to cost me $200 just to get one up initially. So.
Yeah, there's a cost. That's what a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, you can't.
What's a gas fee? I mean, I know you've told me, but not everybody probably knows what that means.
So when you use cryptocurrency, which is what you purchase an NFT with, it's called a gas fee, and that is the transaction fee.
One-time fee, or is it a recurring fee, or?
It's a fee every time the money moves. So to put an NFT on like OpenSea.io, for instance, I have to pay an exchange fee, and so I have to pay to put it there, and I have to pay the gas fee, so the exchange fee. Basically, anybody who moves crypto makes more money than people who buy crypto, in my opinion. That's when you get into XRP. I can get really nerdy about this.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm not going to ask another question.
Yeah, you might not want to.
Those are good questions, though. I appreciate the questions when you guys have have something you want to know, I mean, feel free to ask. I may not know it, but somebody on here probably does.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here, guys, on the 6 platforms. So even if there aren't too many where you're watching, that doesn't mean there aren't like 100 somewhere else. Ask away.
Plus, this will be going up right after this on several of the platforms. It'll be recorded, and that will be more opportunities for people to answer questions or to pose questions, really, right?
I will look into Masterworks to see if it's just 1 fee instead of 2. I will check that out. Because I really have spent an ungodly amount of time actually working on this problem in my head and online. Welcome, everybody. A lot of new viewers all of a sudden. Welcome.
Yeah, so we're painting. This is David Austin Gallery that's davidaustingallery.com. There, I got it out, right? Maybe I should drink more of my coffee.
Clearly, you need more coffee.
We're fun-filled, family-oriented stations. We keep it we have a lot of young people, young families that have followed us for years. And so we always try to be very family-friendly. I check my contractor speak at the door. And
yes, we do sell those aprons that he's wearing.
Yes,
and
that's
our
what I was
website.
going to mention next. Thank you. Thanks for mentioning that. That's where I was going next. I knew there was something more I was going to mention. Yeah, so this really is the stage of the painting where I start to analyze it. We've had kind of the improvisational stuff go on, and now we come in and we start to analyze the piece and decide, okay, what needs to go, what needs to stay? Do I need to enhance it more? Do I need to take away some things? And so it's one of my favorite stages, but it's also a little bit tedious. For a lot of people, it can get tedious to do this. And it's sometimes tedious to watch.
Nah. It's always fun. There was that really bad one, like the second show we ever did.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't even remember it. We've done literally hundreds and hundreds of these. If not, yeah, I think probably several hundred, right?
Oh yeah, more than that. I think we're close to 1,000 at this point because my shorts are over 1,000. TikToks, shorts, reels, short form videos.
So now I'm kind of going back in.
The camera on my phone is just on here. Going back in?
Going back in with the charcoal that was down here. Remember this part earlier today? And now I'm taking just a little bit of the white gesso, and I'm helping to spread that around and create a little bit more defined areas, okay? So, just using my fingers. That's why I'm wearing a glove. Wear your gloves, people.
Yes.
So you're probably wondering, okay, what kind of gloves do I get? Even if you weren't, I'm going to tell you. So these are mechanic gloves, and you can get them at most of the hardware stores. And they work really well for this sort of work because they hold up better. A lot of the nitrols that you get at the hardware store, they don't really hold up very well. So I like these because of that reason, because they do hold up nicely.
Oh yeah, how are we doing in the other media platforms? Now that I'm paying attention to them, pretty well actually. We're gaining followers faster in other places than we are on Instagram lately. But that means it's literally tripled my work.
Yeah.
Like I get up at 7 and I'm posting and I'm creating shorts and reels until about 8 and I'm posting them.
When the kiddo wakes up.
Yeah. It's important to do because we all see what's happening to branch out.
Yeah, a lot of our compatriots on Insta, for example, are really not happy right now.
So my suggestion, if you're comfortable on Instagram, is to maybe try TikTok next. If you're okay with making videos. But that's the thing, you got to understand, everything else right now is video based. So you're going to have to create videos no matter where you go.
This is where I'm very blessed because Kristen she's the video person behind this, all of this. And if it wasn't for her, I'd still probably be around 3,000-4,000 people on an instant. But because of her efforts, I mean, she is definitely the reason that we have made progress. And I was so happy when she came to me and said, "Would you mind if I, join you in your art stuff?" And I laughed at her because, of course, every artist's dream is to have somebody to help them with the nuts and the bolts. Because we spent I've known many artist friends of mine over the years that spend so much time on the nuts and bolts that they're not, in some cases, not really painting anymore. Because it's just so much, right?
Got a question about Vero. I actually haven't tried Vero yet.
Oh, I don't know it.
Yeah, I don't think David does either. Anybody have any experience with Vero? Vero? Want to talk about it? I basically just cast a very, very large net these days.
Yeah.
So.
I was going to use this tissue, but I'm not even sure I want to.
The tissue paper?
Yeah.
Thanks for the hearts and the fires and the smileys, guys.
I don't even know where I could use it exactly, but we could still try it. Maybe I could do it. It's kind of messy here.
We've had a nice turnover, so everybody, I'm going to say it again, we always check each other's profiles out if we have the time. So go support your fellow artists out there, guys.
So I'm adding some texture with some tissue. I guess I am doing the tissue, Kristen.
And he is doing the tissue.
Good.
Let's go wide here on this.
You never know what's going to happen in these parts. Just tapping that right in there, right into the acrylic. You could do this with the oils too, as long as there's some adhesive on there. And this is creating some really nice texture. I've done quite a bit of this in the past. I haven't done it in a while though, so actually this is kind of fun.
And you're gonna, when you're done, apply a fix it at the top of the paper as well.
Yes, yeah, there'll be so I'll use, in that case, SpectraFix has a final fix that I really like to use too. So I'll add that in to the piece as well. Take that right up there, just tap, push it right into your medium, whatever it is. It'll adhere. You can move it around a little bit, pick up some pigment. You can leave it a little flat. You can see some of the color behind it, the pigment coming through the tissue paper, which is pretty cool. We've gone into new realms of the painting for the day.
Well, we're reaching an hour, so.
Are we? Okay. A little bit longer today. I just felt like painting. I hope nobody minds. Let's see if I can pick up some.
Ooh, the music has become ominous.
Oh, it works for the. What's he doing now?
The grab bag of music back there. I don't even know if anybody can hear it besides us.
The music?
Yeah.
Can anybody hear the music?
Because this is a whole new setup, so the acoustics are different, and I'm going to have to watch these later on all 6 places.
Yeah.
And figure it out. Oh, yeah. Aren't those fun sculptures?
Did you show them the other two?
Well, everybody can see it all, yeah.
Oh, they can?
Yeah, so there's that one. Right there. And then over here we have that one and that one. Yeah, he had the torch out for hours. He had a good time.
It was a lot of fun.
So Shugiban. Shoshugiban, I believe is what it's called.
It's hard to say that.
Technique. Yeah.
I couldn't remember how to spell it. I responded to somebody this morning about it.
Shoshugiban. It's spelled almost exactly like it sounds. The hiccup with sculptures, though, is when you go to ship them.
Well, it's a more costly product from that standpoint, without a doubt. These particularly are fairly fragile, so it'll be a challenge to ship. Usually, previously when I'd sold these, and I sold quite a bit of them for several years, I was just selling them through the galleries, and that was their problem. So, but I don't know nowadays I don't know where we'll list these. We'll probably list them, ship them out from here.
Yes, there definitely is a Giacometti influence on these pieces.
Oh yeah, I'll even say they're derivative of it. I'll fully admit it. I'm a huge fan of Giacometti, and I love his drawings. I love his art. So yeah, definitely an influence there. The skinny figure.
But for those of us who can't afford one of those,
yeah, you can have something that kind of reminds you of it. I think it still strikes people's passion a little bit. All right. Well, this has been fun, really fun. I've enjoyed it a lot. This is going to go up, recorded on several of the platforms. You can access our various platforms from davidaustingallery.com.
Yay!
And our aprons are back. There's a couple choices and a few other things on that, davidaustingallery.com. But our clothing line, which is Get Outdoors, muddypaw.net. Please go and visit that and check that out. It's pretty cool, too. And then, of course, we have the show in the Hamptons coming up. That is Art Market Hamptons and ARDT Gallery. Thank you so much, Jim and Candy, for taking my work there. And we're really excited. It's the 11th to the 14th of August. And we're really fingers crossing because they have some big, 13, I think, 5-foot by 5-foot paintings there. They'll be representing that big 8x8 one virtually there too. So it's pretty exciting to have this happening. And what else? Oh, Bayfront.
Bayfront Art Fair in Duluth, Minnesota, August 20th and 21st.
Yeah, so that's happening too.
Bayfront Park. And we have Jeff Olson joining us live next Saturday.
Oh, that's going to be a great show. You got to come back for that. We're going to be working with the Cobra water mixable oil paints, and you can join me and see how terrible I do with oil paints. It's a lot of fun.
It'll be great.
So Jeff Olson will be here. He's the education director from Royal Towns, and he's going to be here virtually here. And I think we're doing a split screen with that.
We are doing.
So he can be there and go, no, dude, you can't do that.
It's not allowed.
Or that's okay. So because we're going to learn the product together. So we'll see you next weekend for that. Is that next weekend? Yes.
That's next weekend.
Excellent. I appreciate you all.
Oh, and we're going to be at the Meander Art Walk, October 1st, doing their live show.
Oh, where's that?
That's down south of Minnesota.
Oh,
with
Maggie, are you here still? Type in Maggie Fuller. M.E. Fuller. Check her out.
Check her out. Anyway, that's
okay, that's it. So if we forgot something, sorry about that. Thank you again for joining me in this weird painting session of mine. We'll see what happens with this. I'll post a picture later on several of the platforms so you can see the progress on that, like I usually do. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good day, everybody. Create without fear. #.